Hi, my name is Renata. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which is dedicated to three different categories: intercultural communication and expat life, business skills and job search across cultures, and foreign language learning. This video is part of category 3, foreign language learning. Learn German at your own pace, part 2. Yes, part 2. If you clicked on this video and you're thinking, oh, part 2, just go back, watch part 1 first. I'd highly recommend it. It's a shorter video than this. In this video, where I'm going to go into a bit more detail, like how to start learning German, particular things to be careful about, what's included in my introductory unit, and how can you learn German at your own pace. So this is part 2. If you've already watched part 1, welcome back. And we're going to have a look at what else you should know about learning German and how to get started. As always, I'm going to share my screen and I'll come back at the end of this video. So this is part 2. If you remember, in part 1, we used to look at German and English, the similarities of the two languages. You learned about anglicisms, cognates, and false friends, and I introduced you to some features of the German language. Some of these things are part of my introductory unit to German that I'm going to tell you more about in this video, and also some tips and tricks on how to learn German at your own pace. Now, let's get started with the introductory unit. In my introductory unit to German, I mainly talk about similarities of German and English, anglicisms, cognates, false friends, like I showed you in part 1 of this video. I also introduce people to the features of the German language and to pronunciation. I'll do a little bit more about pronunciation in this video just to give you an idea what else there is that you can learn about pronunciation. Of course, my introductory unit is much more detailed. This consists of 2 videos that is each is 1 hour long, so there's a lot more to it. This is just a taster of what's in the introductory unit. Also, the introductory unit introduces you to how to meet and greet people, how to introduce yourself. We go over pronouns, conjugating verbs, how to ask and answer questions. And of course, a very important topic of the German language, grammatical gender, and 2 of the cases, nominative and accusative. The other 2 will be introduced to you at a later unit. Now, let's get started with a little bit more about pronunciation. So, for example, in the introductory unit, I go over the alphabet, and you learn how to pronounce each and every letter. Why are the different colors? Well, the ones in black are no big deal. At least if you're an English speaker, the sound of those letters are no big surprise. So I'm going to do the letters in black for you. F, L, M, N, O, Q, S, X. No big surprise, right? Also, the ones in green are different, but nothing too dramatic. A, H, K, R, U. Very doable. Then the ones in orange, they all have the same sound at the end. B, C, D, E, G, P, T, V. The E sound at the end seems to be particularly difficult to make, especially if English is your native language. So we will spend a little bit of time on how to make that E sound, because it's not a and not a E and not a, it's a E. I don't even know if you hear the difference, but that's what we would cover in the introductory unit. And then the ones in red, they are particularly strange or difficult for most people. So I'm going to pronounce them in the order they appear. I, J, V, Y, Z. Surprise, surprise. Maybe, maybe not. And like I mentioned in video number 1, there are 4 letters that English doesn't have. There are the following ones: E, Ö, Ü, scharfes S. So we also talk about those additional letters, how they sound, how they appear in letters, in words, and you'll get to know pronunciation through the alphabet. That's the first step, but there are many pronunciation rules. So the introductory unit is full of pronunciation practice. Why is that so important? Well, I'll give you one example. Have a look at the picture. What three items do you see? I'm going to say them in German for you. You can repeat after me if you want to. Haus, Baum, Auto. Want to hear it one more time? Let's go. Haus, Baum, Auto. Three times the charm. One more time. Haus, Baum, Auto. I'm pretty sure you know what you're saying, but how would you spell those three words? Haus, Baum, Auto. Is that a surprise? Maybe it is. Now, what if you had seen the word without anybody telling you how to pronounce it? Would you have said Haus, Baum, Auto? I don't think so, at least not if English is your native language. So, what do we learn from this? Well, the letter combination AU in German sounds like Au in cow. And you'll hopefully see that pronunciation must always come before meaning, before spelling. This is how you should learn. Hear the sound, be aware what it means, and then see the spelling. Pronunciation before meaning, before spelling. That's a great way to learn. Besides, I also have another video about tips and tricks on how to learn a foreign language. It has a little bit of German in it, but it's for any foreign language that you wish to learn. Some tips and tricks on how to succeed in learning a foreign language. So if you're learning another language, or if you want some tips and tricks about learning foreign languages in general, check out my other video on that particular topic. In addition to pronunciation, the introductory unit also gives you some, let's say, standard dialogues. You will learn lots of things from those dialogues. And these dialogues introduce you to certain concepts like formal versus informal. There's a formal language, a formal way of saying you, which is used when you communicate with strangers or in business or in the general public. You're in a restaurant, you order, you talk to someone in the street, anyone you don't actually know, that's considered the formal you. And then there's informal, the informal you that you use with family members, friends, close colleagues. So you have to agree on doing that. And maybe fellow students at the university or when you're younger with children, these type of situations. Now, I'm going to show you the formal dialogue first and then the informal dialogue. Just listen to the conversation. I'm pretty sure you can follow along, at least most of it, what's going on, even though you don't speak German. Let's go. Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Ich heiße Peter Müller. Wie heißen Sie? Ich heiße Stefan Berger. Freut mich, Sie kennenzulernen. Gleichfalls. Woher kommen Sie, Herr Berger? Ich komme aus München. Und Sie, Herr Müller? Ich komme aus Köln. So there's a lot you can learn from dialogues like that. Greetings like Guten Tag. Also verbs and how to conjugate verbs. Remember, conjugating verbs is a particular feature of the German language. If you know a little bit of German and you wonder, do I really have to say Ich heiße Peter Müller to say I am called Peter Müller? Couldn't I say Mein Name ist Peter Müller? Yes, of course, you could say that. The reason why the verb heißen appears in this dialogue is as an example of how to conjugate verbs. So every functional situation that you will learn about is connected with a grammatical topic. Here it's conjugating the verb heißen or the verb kommen. There's another verb here, kommen, which is to come. Kommen aus, to come from. So you can see what's going on here. They're just greeting each other. They're giving their names. They say, where do you come from? And they say where they're from. One is from München, that's Munich. The other one is from Köln, which is Cologne. Now I want you to compare that to the informal dialogue. Hallo. Hallo. Ich heiße Daniela. Wie heißt du? Ich heiße Andreas. Freut mich, dich zu treffen. Ja, mich auch. Woher kommst du, Andreas? Ich komme aus Frankfurt. Und du, Daniela? Ich komme aus Berlin. Now they're having the same type of dialogue. Greeting. My name is, what's your name, where do you come from, and where they come from. But what's different? In our formal dialogue, person said, ich heiße Peter Müller. This person gives his first and last name. Sometimes people might just say, ich heiße Müller. They might just give you their last name. Oder ich bin Herr Müller. I am Mr. Müller. Whereas in the informal dialogue, people give their first names. That's a huge difference to English, where we also give our first names in a formal dialogue. There's also a different type of you. Wie heißen Sie? Wie heißt du? Two types of you, a formal and an informal you. And verb conjugation. Wie heißen Sie? Wie heißt du? So these dialogues give us a lot of useful information about those features of the German language. And we can expand from that. In the introductory unit, you can also learn about other ways of greeting. Why did it say Guten Tag? Couldn't I have said something else? What if it's morning or afternoon? Isn't there a word for that too? Yes, we can expand from that. Of course, we can venture into different areas. So yes, you could say Guten Tag, but you could also say Guten Morgen, good morning, Guten Nachmittag, good afternoon, Guten Abend, good evening. There are regional differences. In some regions, you say Grüß Gott, Grüezi, Grüezi wohl. There's a huge German-speaking area, Germany, Austria, parts of Switzerland, other areas, where they might have different ways of saying it. Or the informal versions, Hallo, Servus, Grüß dich, Moin Moin, Dag. Regional differences. And how to say goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Ade. Just an example of what we do in the introductory unit when we talk about introducing yourself, meetings and greetings. Also part of the introductory unit are the German pronouns and conjugating verbs. Now the dialogue has given us the verb heißen, to be called. We use that to look at how it works. So this is how conjugating German verbs works. You have your base form. 95%, I would say roughly, of them have an ending. There's an en. Could be a slightly different ending, but the vast majority of them have an en ending. So to conjugate them, you take away the en ending, just cut the en. And then you replace the ending with a green ending. So the list I'm going to show you has a green ending. So that's the ending for each of the pronouns. What are the pronouns? Well, let's start with the English ones. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. What's different in German? Well, the you on the left side is actually the singular informal you. Remember the dialogue before where people gave their first name? That's this singular informal you. On the other side, we have the plural informal you. That's kind of like you guys. You talk to a group of people, but you're familiar with them. And the last one that means they doubles with the formal you. So this is what's a bit different from the I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they you have in English. Just a little bit different, but we can use the English structure to look at German verb conjugation. Now, if you want to say I am called or my name is, you say ich heiße. So what you learn from this is the German pronoun for I is ich, and we're talking nominative. Remember, there are 4 cases. Everything that is in the introductory unit, or whenever you see something for the first time, like pronouns, rest assured this is the nominative version, and later on you will be introduced to other versions of those forms. So ich heiße, du heißt, sie, es heißt, wir heißen, ihr heißt, sie heißen. Now the green endings, that's what conjugating verbs is like. You take that core by cutting the en and you add your green endings. Now, if I gave you another verb to conjugate, you'd be able to do it as long as it's regular or sort of regular, and you'd apply the same endings. With the slight difference that heißen is a verb that has this funny looking letter. It's actually not a B, it's called scharfes S. It's like a double S. And so the regular ending for the second form on the left side, du heißt, is usually an ST. But since we have this funny looking letter here, it's the 2 of them together. But knowing that, you would be able to use those green endings and apply them to other verbs. Of course, we would practice that a lot, and you'll see lots of other verbs as examples. Also, one very important feature of the German language is grammatical gender, and in the introductory unit, you would learn about nominative and accusative. I just want to give you a taster of what that means. By all means, by listening to this very short video about the introductory unit to German, you will not fully understand grammatical gender, nominative, and accusative. Actually, I'm thinking about making another video specifically about nominative, accusative, genitive, and dative, because that's a very important and difficult feature of the German language. This is just an introduction, so you get an idea of what it is you have to focus on when you study German, things you can't avoid. There are no shortcuts. That is the kind of stuff you have to get a grip on. You have to study. Otherwise, you can't move on. So grammatical gender. Let's look at the picture. What are they wearing? Let's say we have a skirt, we have pants, and we have a dress. Let's look at those 3 words. And remember from my previous video, the word for pants is actually a singular word in German. So those 3 words would be der Rock, die Hose, das Kleid. Skirt, pants, dress, or the skirt, the pants, the dress. Why are there 3 words for the? Well, because German has grammatical gender. Der, die, das. Now, if you wanted to say something like this is the skirt, the pant, the dress, and please remember the word for pant. I know this is not correct in English, but I deliberately put it as a singular word because it's a singular word in German. You would say, das ist der Rock, das ist die Hose, das ist das Kleid. Now saying the instead of a or an, that makes it a definite article. We're doing nominative and singular. If you wanted to introduce the idea of accusative, how would it be different? Well, it would be in some cases, because you would say, ich trage den Rock, ich trage die Hose, ich trage das Kleid. Whoa, only one of them changed. Yeah, these are the things you're going to learn. What changes when you move from one case to another, understanding what those forms are, what they look like. I'll have charts for you that give you an overview, but it's more important to actually understand what it is and what they do. I will not discuss that in this video. I just want to give you an introduction to what there is in German that you have to learn in order to learn it successfully. Now that I've shown you the definite articles, just to complete this, I also want to show you the indefinite articles, like a skirt, a Pant. Yeah, remember, it's a singular word in German, and a dress. So ein Rock, eine Hose, ein Kleid. You would say, das ist ein Rock, das ist eine Hose, das ist ein Kleid. And if we change from nominative to accusative, do you remember which one changes? Do all three change? No, only the blue one changes. Well, if you have already memorized that from that short video, you've come a long way. If you already know that when we go from nominative to accusative, only the blue ones change, that's step one. You've already memorized that. You're good to go. Take the next step. So only the blue one changes. Yes. Ich trage einen Rock. Ich trage eine Hose. Ich trage ein Kleid. There are many of them, and there are many cases. So I do provide my students in my classes with overviews like this. And you can find them in grammar books too. Yes, of course. So there they are, der, das, die, and that's definite articles, followed by the indefinite ones, ein, eine, and there's a plural form. And you see that between nominative and accusative, only the blue one changes. Yeah, you've already learned that. And then later on in a later unit, definitely not in the introductory unit, you would learn about dative and genitive, what those forms are. But you'll always have a chart like this and sample sentences, reference sentences in practice. And so you will totally understand how to deal with this so that you can speak German fluently and learn it successfully. Now, how can you learn German at your own pace? If you attend a class and you miss a class, it's hard for you to catch up, or it's too fast, it's too slow, they do things you're not interested in. So I thought, what's the best combination of having some sort of standard input combined with being able to practice and ask questions that are relevant to you? So I've created this German A1 package. A1 is the first level of proficiency. And there's the introductory unit that I showed you what's in it, plus an additional 12 units. So I made self-study videos for each of those units. And in that package, you would have access to all of those self-study videos I have recorded, similar to these YouTube videos you're watching now. And you can watch them at your own pace. So whenever you want, how much you want, you can just watch 5 minutes, or you can practice something that I'm talking about. So you go at your own pace, at your own schedule. Whenever you have time, you have access to those videos. Everything you see in terms of slides, you will get those PDFs as accompanying materials and additional materials whenever needed. And when you come to the end of a unit, there's an end of unit test. So you can test yourself. How good am I at this before you're ready to move on? In each package, there are one-on-one Zoom lessons with me included in the package. So for some people, that's enough. And they really love self-studying. Maybe they already have some knowledge and they just want to make fast progress and not waste time on repeating things they already know. So you can browse through those first couple of units and you just have a couple of Zoom lessons with me to practice and ask questions. Of course, if you need more, you can always buy more one-on-one Zoom lessons if you need these additional packages. If you want to try this out, and if you contact me about this, mention the YouTube special package price. I have one for the first 3 units, the introductory unit, unit 1 and 2. That should give you a good start, and then you can decide whether you want to continue. There's a total of 12 units, and each of them usually comes with 2 one-on-one Zoom lessons each. So this is great. This is how you can learn German at your own pace. You'll be able to self-study. You'll be able to talk to me one-on-one on Zoom, practice with me, ask questions. And you pass a test after each unit, so you can make progress fast. but more importantly, at your own pace. Are you ready? Study, practice, succeed. You want to learn more? Please contact me. Find me online. Search for my name, Renate Urban, or my company name, Urban Training and Services. Visit my website or connect with me on LinkedIn. I hope this video has given you a good insight into some basic features of the German language, what's important, what not to skip, how to not cut corners, and actually really focus on those grammatical features, laying the foundation for actually having fun and enjoying learning that foreign language. If you want to know more, if you want to work with me, if you want to try one of my packages, find me online, contact me. I'll be happy to work with you, or just come back for more videos. I'll be making more videos about different languages, probably most about English and German, and enjoy being a language learner. So, welcome to the community of foreign language learners, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like it, please subscribe and come back for more. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.